Every angler has a favorite time to chase fish with a fly. Whether it be during the blossoming spring, the green of summer, the colors of autumn, or during the cleansing white of winter. It merely offers a backdrop to a pursuit that has attached itself to the soul of a fly fisherman. Rod, reel, fly, and fish. Under that log, behind that rock, or deep in the dark blue could live a fish of a lifetime.
Oh, he got it! He hit it!
It's in that helpless hope that an angler will march from year to year in a lifetime, hoping the next cast connects dreams and a fish of legend. Welcome to Seasons on the Fly.
Welcome to Seasons on the Fly. I'm Greg Heister, and welcome back to the Restigouche River. You've been here before. It was the spring, and this river lived up to its reputation as the land of the giants with all those fish over 30 pounds. You were also here in the fall with the great fall colors of autumn and those big kiped lips on these Atlantic salmon. Well, it's summertime. The water is lower. We've got smaller flies, but we've got plenty of fish to catch. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Seasons on the Fly, and welcome back to New Brunswick's Restigouche River.
Got one!
It's a Canadian summer in all of its glory.
Here we go, Ray. This might be the one.
The fiddleheads are past their prime, the river recedes from its spring runoff, and the river's flow finds its happy place.
Oh, you got him. Okay, good. Yeah. Nice job. Nice job.
These fish are so unique. This river is so special, and the Gaspé Peninsula as a whole is so important in our world of fly fishing. So rooted in history and heritage, and the genetics of these fish, are original. And they go back and back and back, and it's always a really unique, special place for me to come.
No matter what time of the year, there's still a chance that every time that tug comes, it could be a very large fish, 20, 25, 30, 35 or more, even at this time of the year. It's happened. You just never know every tug.
And the river fills with anadromous visitors, chrome, and excited to be home.
Oh, I got one. I got a salmon. Yeah, it's a salmon.
So in July, the runs can actually be more fish.
Ray, I tell you what, Ray, you're my new favorite guide.
And at times, depending on how much water we have or rain, but our average fish usually gets smaller. So where our normal average Restigouche fish are 17 to 22 pounds, a lot of more of the salmon at this time of the year will be in that 10 to 18 pound class, with some 20s, 25s, and even some 30s coming up.
Nice job, gentlemen.
Beautiful. I'll tell you what, that was one strong salmon. Nice job, Ray.
Keith Vanacore has invited us up for another chance at some of the greatest fish on this planet.
Fishing with Keith is always a blast. Every time we come here, there are many partners in this lodge, but Keith is a colorful guy, obviously a lot of charisma, and don't tell him I said this, but man, that dude can fish. And he's caught a lot of these salmon in his life.
Most of my most memorable fish on this river are not necessarily the big fish that we've hooked, the really big fish, but those 18 to 22 pound fish. That's been my most fun fights.
It is the Restigouche River, a reputation that precedes itself and is one that is deeply rooted and secured in history and the type of lore that has anglers from all over the world arriving each year for a chance at the beastly genetics that still come home here.
Fish!
Got one. All right.
And I know when I was a kid, I wanted to fish trout rivers where I had a chance to catch an 8-incher, but you could also catch a 25-incher too, right? This great range. And I know a lot of the tailwaters that I now fish, there's those slot fish, 18 to 22 inches seems to be the slot fish that you catch a lot of trout in a lot of American rivers that we have today. Well, the Restigouche is about the great range.
God, he hit it hard.
Yeah, boy, he did hit it hard.
The great surprise, the great anticipation of what it is that just ate your fly.
A month earlier, this river was filled with fish so large that you might consider calling it quits after catching one, because they're like the holy grail in this world. A genetic uniqueness that has either been lost or never existed in most salmon rivers around the world.
You can't slow these fish down. Look at even the small salmon we hooked this year, and the grilse. The runs that they made, you know, it's incredible. When they turn and they want to go, they're going. Got one, got one. How many times even some of those smaller salmon were chasing them down gravel bars to get a little bit of an angle on them, because
There he goes.
they're even taking 100, 50, 75, 100 yards of line.
He felt a lot heavier than that. Holy moly.
They get in that heavy water and they just want to head back to Greenland.
It's a river that can satisfy all anglers, whether you're into that once-in-a-lifetime fish or if you're into numbers. The Restigouche can fulfill all desires. When Seasons on the Fly continues, the beauty of the Restigouche, chasing these fish for a lifetime, and the king of the grilse.
They're like a magnet.
Hi, I'm Greg Heister. To find out the truth about chronic Lyme disease, go to seasonsonthefly.com.
Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by C.F. Berkheimer. Handcrafted rods, one of a kind, one at a time. And by Cane Lana. No angler likes to get cold even when it's wet, and you won't in Cane Lana wool. And by the Restigouche River Lodge. Come fish the land of the giants. And brought to you by Stealthcraft Boats. Drift into the 21st century. Don't wait to watch Seasons on the Fly on television. Find our YouTube channel or watch us on Vimeo. And you can now download the Seasons on the Fly app and watch us on Apple TV and Roku. It's Seasons on the Fly on your schedule.
Hi, I'm Greg Heister. Don't let the Seasons on the Fly experience end when the show does. Go to seasonsonthefly.com to watch all kinds of video, including fly tying demonstrations, full episodes, and you can support the show by buying a hat or a DVD. Your support is greatly appreciated. And you can follow Seasons on the Fly on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Your support is greatly appreciated, and I hope to see you on the water sometime.
Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by Yeti Coolers, built for the wild. And by Honda, power when and where you need it. It's July. The summer sun warms your back as the cool water rushes through your legs, and the opportunistic grilse finds your fly.
Got one. And we hear all the time, the tug is the drug. Well, if that is your motto for fly fishing, then this is a place that you have to come. Beautiful fish. Nice grilse. There are no dead drifts, there's no bobbers. It's all about throwing the fly at a quarter downstream in most cases, and you swing and you wait and you anticipate. And the greatest thing about the entire experience is that when a fish does eat the fly, you never know if it's 5 pounds or if it's 35 pounds in the Restigouche River.
I love it all. I love all the different phases. I love trout fishing, so I love the finer tippets. I love the fishing my 9-foot rod, bomber fishing, fishing shorter lines.
I got one.
Got one! Nice grilse!
No, it's not a grill.
And look at the fun we've had with some of those grilse that we figured were small salmon. They turned out to be, 5, 6, 7, 8 pound grilse. I thought it was a small salmon at the beginning. Love those fish though. Doesn't get any better than that. When they're coming out of the water and taking line, they're taking line like a salmon, and all of a sudden you find out it's either a 10-pound salmon or it's a 6-pound grilse, and they're stripping off line like you can't believe.
Grilse are a salmon that spent just one winter in salt water. They've come home to spawn, smaller, but they bound with energy and fill the voids of fishless times.
Fish! Fish! This is a salmon. I would still bet to this day that when that fish ate, it was a 20-pound salmon the way it ate and the way it ran. And I still think at some point in time, there was some sort of switch done out in the middle of that pool.
That's a daggone grilse, isn't it?
Where a salmon somehow gave that fly to a grill.
You gotta be kidding me.
Great fish, fought like the Dickens, chrome silver, and a lot of fun, and the take was epic. But the way it took, I could have sworn to you that it was a salmon.
The grilse have a purpose in this ecosystem. There is strength in numbers. They may be smaller, but pound for pound, few things pull with such authority.
He's got one. Go. Those grilse, they're really there protecting the salmon to procreate. Go get him, Greg! You don't know how many times over the last 10 years here, I've seen a salmon come into a fly, 20, 25 pound salmon, and all of a sudden the grilse come out of the water with the fly beating the salmon to the fly. It happens all the time. They really do help protect the gene pool. I'll tell you though, you are the king of grilse this week.
I was waiting for that.
I mean, some people have a knack. Hey, listen, there's not a lot of people that could catch 9 grilse in a row, while other people are catching salmon. But believe me, Greg, you're just special. But
he's a beautiful grilse. He is, right? Yeah. Look at the colors on him, though.
You never know until that first jump, or if that first time he goes by you, because some of them don't jump. And you'll only know if it's a salmon or a grill once he gets 10, 15 feet of you, and you'll see that shine when he turns.
He's got a fish on. Salmon or grilse?
Don't know.
But when it's a salmon, oh man, that smile comes up to the ears, and if you can land him, that you can't take that smile off for 2-3 days. I call it the Atlantic Salmon smile.
Raymond Poirier, our guide, he looks and sounds the part. The Restigouche runs the border between New Brunswick and Quebec. In fact, a fishing license from either province is legal here. Ray is from the Quebec side, and his French accent is part of this international experience.
Nice job.
It means everything. Everything on the Restigouche is for me. The quietness, there's no cement around here, walls or big highways. It's very quiet. I mean, I think of where they lie, how they lie, what they're seeing.
The Restigouche is a wide, powerful river. These pools sweep through this valley. These fish can hold just beneath your feet, and at times they have to be coerced into eating.
Park eye, let things settle. Then you read your water, look for seams, find the ripple. You tell the boys, well, you got to go 10 feet in front of that ripple. That's where the rock is. And some of my best salmon fishing was done beside big rocks.
When Seasons on the Fly continues, the Restigouche is a river of numbers this week. These fish eat bugs, and when the grilse picks you. Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by the new SOF UV adhesives, industrial grade, tack-free, and a complete line of colors, sparkle, and you won't beat the price. Change the way you tie flies. And by CF Berkheimer, handcrafted rods, one of a kind, and one at a time. And by Tarpon Key Lodge in Belize. Catch a grand slam before breakfast.
Hi, I'm Greg Heister. A reminder, please support our sponsors. Without them, this show is impossible. You can do that by going to seasonsonthefly.com, clicking on their logo, and let them know that you support them and that you're part of the team. Thanks for watching Seasons on the Fly.
Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by Cane Lana. No angler likes to get cold even when it's wet, and you won't in Cane Lana wool. And by Sea Run Cases, where every case tells a story and are air travel approved. And by seasonsonthefly.com. Don't let the experience end when the show does. And by the brand new Seasons on the Fly Lodge, the SOF experience continues on Alaska's Kvichak River. And brought to you by Stealthcraft Boats. Drift into the 21st century. The Restigouche River is about 120 miles. It's fed by many tributaries, many of which still have salmon today.
An inch or two of rain, some overcast, a high pressure system moving in can just change everything. Not only trigger the fish that are in the river, but bring a lot more fish right up and in, because we're only 7 or 8 miles from the brackish water, and the bay is only 20 miles down, so those fish are always waiting to come in.
These fish are threatened or already gone in many parts of the world. The French were the first Europeans to settle here in the 17th and 18th centuries. One can only imagine what this river and its salmon population were like then.
You got them?
It's believed that 15 to 25,000 salmon a year still come home to the Restigouche,
It's in. Nice.
and 40-pound salmon are caught every year. And because of that, the wealthy and famous have swung these pools for fish. Names like the Duke of Windsor, Ted Williams, and Bing Crosby.
Every time you get a chance to hook one of these fish, land them and then feel them and let them go, it just, it does something to you. So the size and the, you know, I love the fall fishing just as much. You know, a lot of people only want to chase chrome fish in this spring. I love it all.
Oh! Got him!
When you're hooking these grilse, I love it. And we're using small flies, 10s and 12s, and just skittering them across the surface and watching those strikes and the fish coming out of the water.
These fish eat bugs, or what they call some of these flies, like the green machine and these stonefly patterns.
That fly presentation is very important.
I'm a firm believer that those bugs do trigger from when they were par and smolt, when they actually were eating.
It's true, these fish aren't eating, but these flies trigger instincts.
Yeah, but it might be a grilse.
Developed when they were smolt, spending years in this river before going to the sea when they did eat the insects that live here.
So that's is that a nice sized grilse or a small salmon?
You want to position yourself where you're going to get the maximum amount of line speed in slower water, or the proper amount of line speed, depending at the high end of the run, stacking some ends. You want to be close to the edge of that fast water.
I got one.
You really need a tight line with a good strong pull across to trigger these fish to come to take a fly. Line speed is critical.
And I think that he has just honed that skill over the years where, you know, the straight line cast, and he's got that fly moving at a certain speed the minute that it hits the water.
Somebody that comes here and never fished salmon, they probably don't have a clue what fly speed is. That speed is very important.
The great debate, the speed of the fly.
Make one last gasp. Oh, Jesus! Ah, darn it!
It has long been argued at salmon camps for generations. Is there a right speed or a wrong speed?
When the numbers are there, bad cast will catch them. When the numbers are not there, a bad cast will scare them.
And we'll wrap up another show from the Restigouche when we come back. Here's your chance to win a brand new Honda EU 2200i generator and a trip for two to Seasons on the Fly Lodge in Alaska. It could be yours simply by just registering. Go to seasonsonthefly.com to learn more. And good luck. Who knows? This could be your lucky day. Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by Dry Fly Distilling, handcrafted spirits made in the Pacific Northwest. And by Wild Alaska Sport Fishing and Cruises. Come find the real Alaska. Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by Scientific Anglers. Fish the truth. And by Sea Run Cases, where every case tells a story and are air travel approved. Few places that we travel to offer such a window into the past. The Restigouche River is such a place. Conservationists have worked to protect this area for nearly 200 years now, and because of those efforts, the salmon still return to this river valley. But they remain threatened.
There we go.
So when you come here, you don't just catch fish.
Bang.
You open up a history book. A look back through hundreds of years and an ecosystem that remains unique and more rare today than ever before. If an Atlantic salmon is on your bucket list, and I hope it is, the Restigouche River is where dreams can come true. I'm Greg Heister, and I'll see you next time on Seasons on the Fly.
Out of the 25 or 30 fish that we put in the book this week, we were imitating those stoneflies with green machines and a lot of deer hair hackled flies that we normally don't fish you know, all year. I'm a firm believer that these fish respond to what they did when they were younger, that they see smaller flies that may imitate those bugs, and that helps induce a strike.
Got him. Every time you come here, there's this great anticipation that you're going to catch one of the great fish of your lifetime, and the way that you get a pull on a fly, and you just get that perfect pull and swing where you just know every cast, you know, you've got a chance to catch one of those big fish in the Restigouche River. Again, I think this is one of these places that you come that you just don't ever forget your days here because of the tradition and the history and the beauty of this river.